Hi, I'm Omar, and this is a crash course in data analytics. In today's episode, we will talk about formulas and references in Excel. You have seen AutoSum and some of the common statistical functions in the previous episode, but there are another 400 plus other functions available. So let's explore just a few of those now. On the Formulas tab in the Function Library group, there are drop-down lists for several function categories. The first is a list of recently used functions, which updates automatically as you use them. Then you have functions related to financial calculations. If you hover over the name of a function, you see a short description for each one. So here we have the accrued interest function, and here is the interest rate function. The logical list has Boolean operator functions such as AND, if, and OR. There are several functions related to text such as concat, which is an updated version of a previous function called concatenate, and we have find and search as well. There are several functions related to dates and times such as network days, weekday, and weeknum. Definitely we will not go through all the functions, but you can discover more depending on the application you want to apply them on. It is important to understand the difference between relative and absolute references when creating your formulas. By default in Excel, cell references are always relative references. What does it mean? Let's take an example. If we enter the formula A1 plus A3 in cell 4, note the blue and red highlighted cells in A1 and A3. These denote the cells being relatively referenced in the formula. If we copy the formula to the cell directly below them using the fill handle, we can see that the result changes. If we look at the copied formula, you can see that the blue and red cells references have changed relatively to their position on the worksheet. The formula has been changed to A2 plus A4 in the copied formula. Same thing will happen if you copy that in any cell below. If we enter the formula equals $A$1 plus $A$3 in cell E4, note the blue and red highlighted cells in A1 and A3. These denote the cells being absolutely referenced in the formula. When we copy the formula using the fill handle, you can see that the result stays the same. Lastly, we will look at an example of how to use mixed references in a formula. If we enter the formula $1 plus $A3 in cell G4, if we copy the formula to the cell below using the fill handle, you can see that the result changes, but it is different result from the previous examples. And if we look at the copied formula, you can see that the first blue cell reference has stayed the same, but the second red cell reference has changed. Now, we will have a quick introduction to dealing with formulas errors in Excel. Because of the complexity of writing formulas, you might get errors like these. Note that when you see multiple hash symbols in a cell, it is not really an error. It just means the column either is not wide enough to display the whole word or value, or it contains a negative date or time value. If we enter the formula scene in E4, when we press enter, we see a hash name error. This error was caused by trying to use an X as a multiplication operator, when in fact it should be an asterisk. When you select the cell, an exclamation mark appears, providing you with a hint about what caused the error. In this case, it says the formula contains unrecognized text. When you click here, you see several options. The first line also gives you a clue on the nature of the error. This one says invalid name error, if you click help on this error, a help pane opens with specific information related to this error. If you click show calculation steps, a dialog box opens displaying the current syntax with the error underlined. And if you are certain the error is correct, you can choose ignore error. If you want to edit the formula, click edit in formula bar and correct the formula error. If you click error checking options, the Excel options dialog box is opened at the section related to error checking rules, and you can modify these options to suit your needs. For more information on each of these errors and typical solutions, visit the link in the description. For more, subscribe and follow us on LinkedIn in the description.